Students, the topic is magnetic force on a current carrying conductor. See the diagram. There is a magnetic field. It is a uniform magnetic field, and inside that magnetic field you are taking a current carrying conductor. What means you are taking a wire which is carrying current. It is carrying a current I. So this wire length is L. Obviously current carrying means the charges are moving from one end to the another end. So you know that as per the conventional current direction, the electrons will flow in the opposite direction. So the electrons will move from, if the current is moving from left to right, the charges will move from right to left. With what speed? With the speed of drift velocity. Okay, drift velocity we studied earlier. With the speed of Vd they will be traveling. What will is there any magnetic force generated on this wire? Yes. And what will be the direction? The current is let us say this magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper, and the magnetic force will be mutually perpendicular to I and B. The direction will be as shown in the figure. Because this is a 2D sheet, we are showing like this. Anyway, here the point we are discussing is a current carrying wire will have hundreds and thousands of charges. Okay, so how to find this magnetic force? So what we do is we find out the charges, we find out the force on each charges, take the vector sum, then you get the total sum, and that is the total force acting on the wire. Okay, so a charged particle in motion experiences a magnetic force in a magnetic field. The total force is obtained by taking the vector sum of individual forces. So you can assume this like, you know, Fm is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3, so on, where F1 is the force on the charge 1, F2 is the force of the charge 2. Like that, take the summation, you get the total force. And this force Fm is given by I into L cross B. L is the length of the wire and B is the magnetic field. Okay. Now, because this is a cross product of L and B, some cases will arise, and in first case this length can be parallel to the magnetic field. In that situation there will be no force exerted, because this is Fm is equal to I into L cross B, that is LB sin theta. So when it is parallel, what will be the angle? It will be either 0 or 180. Sin 180 or sin 0 is 0, so there will be no force. In the second case, when L is perpendicular to B, the force will be ILB, because sin 90 is equal to 1. So there are some other cases, like when you take a curved wire. So let us say the magnetic field is like this, and you take a curved wire. Now in this situation, how do you find? Means you apply the concept of polygon law. Remember polygon law? See this diagram, A, B, C, D, E. Apply the triangular law for ABC, AB, BC. So AC is the resultant, then AC, CD, AD is the resultant, AD, DE, AE is the resultant. So by applying polygon law, you can find the vector sum. How? Take the initial position and final position. So similarly, in this situation, when we try to find out the total magnetic force, take a small element. It will be dFm is equal to I into dl cross B. If you want the total force, take the integration, and so if you apply the polygon law over here, what is the initial position? A, final position is D. Apply the polygon law, AD will be the length. You don't have to take the curved length, that is the distance. We are talking about here displacement. So my Fm will be equal to I into AD into B. So in this there is a special case of closed loops. It will be like this. There is a uniform magnetic field of intensity B, and there is a closed wire. That means the wire, wherever it begins, there it ends. So in this situation, the vector addition will be 0, displacement will be 0, L will be 0. So what will be the force? It will be 0. So this is a special case. If there is a closed loop, there will be no magnetic force experienced by the wire. The net magnetic force acting on any closed current carrying loop in a uniform magnetic field is always 0.